Good morning, friends. Welcome back to an episode of Fibre Fuckery. I don't know what order I'm uploading these in. I don't know what episode we're on. Today we are dyeing again. I'm just on a little dyeing kick. I have this pair of shorts. They are 100% denim, and I think right off the bat you can see there is a little bit of a stain situation going on. I was working on my car last summer in these, and there was just a little bit of an oil spilling situation, and it's not cute. I love these shorts. They're 100% denim. This is some Zara. Who is she? These are just by Zara. They're just 100% cotton denim, and we're gonna dye them. I'm gonna soak these in some warm water and fuck around for a little bit, and I'll be back when I pull out some dye. I also found just a very random little leftover bit of 100% cotton. This was from that little cotton tank top that I knit in our spring fiber episode of Yarn Yappin'. I'm just gonna throw this in here. I'm just gonna let that soak in there, and we can just get some use out of it. I'm not gonna use like a scrap piece of white yarn. I might use it if it's a fun color. The sun is out. It is a warm day. The window is open. If you can hear traffic, that's what's going on. So in terms of dye for this cotton project, I hate dyeing cotton. We've discussed this before, but I have some leftover powdered tulip tie-dyes from a tie-dye kit that I bought last summer to play around with some cotton dyeing. We're not gonna get into it today. I just don't enjoy dyeing cotton. It takes forever. It takes a lot of water. It's a lot of rinsing. It's a lot of rinsing. So I have some leftover tulip cotton tie-dye powders, and I believe this is blue. It's kind of hard to tell when it's just a powder, but I put it in the blue bottle, so we're gonna see. I hope so. I'm just gonna run the water to get it warm to dissolve the dye powder. This is in fact the blue color. Nice. I'm going to tighten this, and I'm going to cover it with paper towel and put my finger on the tip and shake it, because these tell you just to like twist it shut and hold the tip and shake it, but these splash. These do not seal tightly, so I'm just shaking it like this. Don't be nasty. See what I mean? They lied. So as you can see, this is a very bright blue, and I don't want to dye this is leaking everywhere. I don't want to dye my denim bright blue. I don't really care what the yarn turns out as. The yarn's just kind of a experiment. I don't want to waste the fiber. Yeah, as you can see, my hands are now blue. This is very bright. So when it comes to dyeing cotton, you can leave cotton soaking in the dye. I believe it's for like 24 hours, and that counts as like fully absorbing the dye. Or you can hit it with heat to set it like you would with an acid dye, like we've been doing with our wool yarns. We set it on the stove, heat sets the dye. I think I'm just gonna leave this outside and sit it in the sun and see what happens. This is an experiment. I just want to still be able to wear these shorts and not have oil stains in my ass crack. Don't ask me how I got oil from my car on my ass. Now that these are wet, you can see the oil stains more easily. It's easier to see the oil stain. I'm just gonna put a little bit more water in here. And then I'm going to just add a splash of the dye. You guys saw how bright it was. I don't want bright blue denim. I just want enough blue pigment to cover up that stain, or just camouflage it enough that it's not looking sad, you know? I will not be going to get my tripod just to do this very quick. Satisfying. It looks a lot darker on camera than it does in the pan in real life. And I'm just gonna mix this. You can see it's not very saturated, like we've just got a little bit of blue in the water. When I'm trying to figure out how saturated my dye is, I don't do math around here. There is definitely math you can do to help you achieve this more easily without just kind of a trial and error process. I'm not doing math, so I use a paper towel and I just dip it in and see what the concentration is. And there's not a lot in there, so I'm gonna add a bit more. I'm gonna keep this out of the sun, out of like the direct sunlight, and just make sure this is fully covered. I wish I had like a bigger pot so that this fabric wasn't kind of like bunched up, but whatever. This is just kind of an experiment. I'm gonna leave these here probably overnight and heat set them tomorrow just to make sure, and then rinse them. And then obviously I'll show you that. So I will see you tomorrow. Hello, it is the next day. I have grabbed my big ass pan of cotton yarn and my shorts, and also a lot of bugs. So I'm gonna say, if you're gonna try this, you're gonna leave something just to sit it outside, out of the way overnight. Cover it with saran wrap or something, because there was a lot of bugs, a lot of dead flies. And I had to fish a lot of them out, and there's still a couple in there. So if you see a fly or two in this dye pan, just know that I don't have my shit together. Really not exciting at all. I'm gonna heat this up and just heat set it just in case, because cotton freaks me out whenever I dye it. I just don't trust that it can sit for 24 hours and it sets properly. So I'm heat setting it, and I will show you the rinsing process, because that's my least favorite part, and my eye bags, y'all. I'll be back when we get to rinsing. So that was a flop, and I am just going to repeat all of the steps that we just did together, but I'm going to go in with a different dye. I bought a denim blue kind of color, so we're gonna go in with that again. You can hear the horns. You can hear the sink running maybe. I'm just filling up my soaking bucket, and I'm gonna soak those shorts in water, rinse and repeat with this better dye color, and I will show you the finished result. But this is the yarn. The yarn turned out really cute. Just a tiny little... My timer just cut me off. That was rude. But yeah, it's just this very light little teal. This kind of reminds me of like sea glass or something. But this will go in my cotton bin, and I have a scrappy cotton project I want to do, so I can use this up then. This dryer cycle has finally finished. Final reveal after I had to re-dye. These shorts. Ta-da! Look, no stains. No stains in the ass crack. These are like a very mid-tone blue. And that took forever, but I'm very happy because this is my favorite pair of shorts to wear, like in terms of just like the shape and the fit of them. And now they don't have a freaking stain in the ass crack. The last thing I have to do is just sew back on the little tag I took off, because you can see the tags will take the dye. I don't care about the inside tag, but I wanted the inside tag to not turn blue. So I'm gonna fold the rest of this laundry, and then we're gonna recap while I stitch on this tag. Okay, so I ended up grabbing this little thread for my stash. This is 75% polyester, 25% cotton. It's just a thick white thread. Ideally, I would have like a matching yellow, kind of goldeny denim thread. I don't have any, so I'm not using it. This is the little tag I took off, and while I do this, I'm gonna ramble, reflect and ponder, and I'm gonna throw up a couple clips that I took. So I ended up purchasing some of the RIT all-purpose dye in like the denim blue color. And then what I ended up doing differently versus our first round, first of all, the dyes make a lot of difference. What I had previously was a tulip tie-dye kit, which works fine. Oh, I forgot how hard this is going to be to get this through the denim, which works fine, but it I should have just gone for the RIT dye. I just wanted to use up what was in my stash, but just from the get-go, I just should have gone and purchased a darker denim. I wanted to use the blue that was in my stash already that I had, but it clearly was not the right kind of blue. So, cop car. Driving way too fast. The second thing that I did that made the biggest difference was that I put the jean shorts in hot water. So when I was, that little clip of me pouring in that denim blue color, I have hot water out of the tap and also like a third of a cup of salt. Apparently the RIT all-purpose dyes suggest adding salt. So I added some salt with hot water, and then I'm going to insert a clip here. The RIT all-purpose instructions say to move the garment in the warm water for about 30 minutes, up to 60 minutes. You think I'm going to stand there and stir a pot for an hour? Delusion. So I just kind of moved it around for about 15 minutes until everything was looking nice and saturated. There was no like dry spots. There was no like little crevices that didn't have the dye absorbed into them. And then I just let it sit there for, I want to say I did 60 minutes, and I didn't agitate. I wasn't stirring anything. I just left it on a super, super, super low heat so the dye bath stayed nice and warm, and I just let it sit there for an hour, and then I painstakingly rinsed it. And this is where my hatred of cotton comes in. When we're talking about the difference between dyeing a cotton skein of yarn and a wool skein of yarn, we're working with a cellulose fiber versus a animal protein fiber. They absorb dye differently. You have to use different types of dye. So we're used to using acid dyes. I'm used to using acid dyes. You're used to seeing me use acid dyes. When I'm dyeing wool, I always talk about how the dye will clear from the pan, and we're often checking that before we're adding more colors when we're dyeing with wool, the dye pan is cleared because all of the acid dyes have exhausted into the wool. There's a lot of hand movements going on. With cotton, fiber reactive dyes are what you use with cotton, and fiber reactive dyes do not exhaust. So you are left with all of that dye that you put in the pan is now, you have to rinse out of the pan and rinse out of the garment, and it takes forever. I rinsed these in the sink for about 15 minutes, and then I threw them in a rinse. I have a really quick like 10-minute rinse cycle in my washing machine, and I did that, and then I threw them in the dryer. I'm inserting the clip. I don't know if you've seen it already. I don't know where I put it, but it takes forever. And I don't normally rinse my garments in the white bucket. I was just having the white there so you could see the dye that was still left over, because in the sink, I have a metal sink, you couldn't really tell. So the white bucket was just to show you guys that pigment that was left over. So that was the differences, and that's how we got this different outcome. And everything is like a cute denim color. I prefer like a mid-tone denim versus a lighter denim. Like the one we started with was not my favorite wash of denim, but I'm gonna wear these a lot more now. And I'm gonna finish stitching this in. 1 second. Ta-da! Here she is, very haphazardly hand stitched on. You can see this is like I don't think it's a leather. I don't think Zara's putting leather tags, but it's got that like kind of papery, leathery tag feeling. So this would have dyed blue, and not interested in that. And yeah, there they are. It took 48 hours. 48 hours to do this. Lesson learned. Don't try and stash bust your tulip leftover dye on thick denim. It's not gonna work. Save it for the t-shirts. I learned my lesson. Anyways, if you just watched this whole borderline shit show, thank you for watching. Subscribe, like, comment, share, follow me on Instagram, TikTok. I don't really post on TikTok. You can follow me in the places. All my links are in the description. And thank you for watching. Enjoy the rest of your day.